And welcome back to Proline. Jim Feist and myself, Dave Koch, and we're going to look at the Cavs-Warriors Game 1. The finals getting underway on Thursday night. First, though, I want to tell you about a great offer that I've got right now, and I really do think this is a dynamite offer. You can play through the All-Star break in baseball, plus the remainder of the NBA for $39. Works out to less than a dollar a day. That's plays every day at what amounts to an enormous discount. Call 1-855-472-2577. That's 1-855-472-2577. Just $39 gets you rolling. Jim, two of us cashed. We were on the right side on Monday with the Warriors in Game 7. In your baseball, I mean, these are good numbers. 42-20 run, 8-0 with May games of the month, 12-1 on the high roller platinums.
Absolutely, Dave. It's been a party. My clients and I have been cashing each and every week, especially those big games. That's right. Winning continues, and it's going to do it in June again. Play for the rest of June alongside me and the rest of my clients. $29 for 29 days of baseball and NBA Finals. Plus, when you sign up, I'll throw in one of those high roller platinum games, $500 value that are on right now, 12-1 run. Call 866-546-9467. 29 days for $1 a day, $29. 866-546-9467.
All right, so here we go. Cavaliers and Warriors. Cleveland has stampeded through the East. They won 8 in a row to start off, actually 10 in a row to start off. Had a 2-game stumble in Toronto and then got back on track and just nailed them in games 5 and 6. But you can argue they haven't played anybody yet. The Eastern Conference is soft. The Warriors have gone through a couple of tough teams already. I thought Portland, because of the Curry injury, was a tougher, reasonably tough opponent. And obviously what they did against Oklahoma City was spectacular. Coming back from a 3-1 deficit, a lot of the talking heads on the networks were, that's it, they're done. They ran out of gas. Well, I guess they found an extra tank someplace because they were brilliant in the last 2 games, coming back in the second half of Game 6 and then doing it again in Game 7. Thompson, Curry, these other role players that are out there, I mean, they're just a loaded basketball team. But the question is, can they maintain the momentum that they're coming out of Game 7 with against Oklahoma City? And are they going to be a little worn down going into this series against Cleveland?
All good questions, all good points. I have a little bit of a difference in how they won this last series against OKC. Personally, I think OKC, if you look at the teams they put on the floor, every position, not just Curry and Thompson, because you really can't match up with those 2 guys that well. But the rest of the team, I actually think OKC might have had an edge team-wise. But mentally, OKC is losing it. They've lost it. And it goes to Westbrook mostly and some Durant as well. These guys are not championship players at this point in their career. They're great players, but they throw it away. There are games when Westbrook, a point guard, had 8 turnovers and 1 assist. You're a point guard. Your whole job out there is to assist your other players. And he did a terrible job at times. And down at the end of the game, this team led the league in blown leads in the fourth quarter. There's a reason for that, and I think we saw it in Game 5, Game 6, Game 7. We saw what they can do when their mental goes totally away. Well, physically, they're a talented team and very well could have won. But when it comes to Kerr and his group of players, well coached, lots of great role players, the biggest problem they have is down low because they're not that talented underneath. These guys have this unbelievable ability to hit 3-point shots from 40, 45 feet. It's where nobody ever guards them, and when they do get guarded, they shoot over 7-foot guys. So it's very difficult to know how you can beat this team.
But I don't understand this, and maybe somebody out there can explain it to us, because we both kind of feel the same way on this. There are 2 players often on the floor at the same time, not named Curry and not named Thompson and not named Green, who are liabilities at the foul line. Bogut and Iguodala is not a good foul shooter. Why is there no hack of Bogut taking place To me, don't you want to limit the possessions? I mean, if they make both free throws, that's the way it's go. But if you can hold them to one for 2 or 0 for 2, I'll tell you what, that's not a bad idea considering those other guys that are on the floor.
You're absolutely right. And I was tweeting this out during the game, in Game 6 when Thompson lit it up for 11 threes.
Yes.
Okay. And that game was back in OKC, and he's coming down and he's just hitting everything.
Kept him in the game.
He could have been out in the parking lot and he wouldn't have missed. But when they're coming down the floor, you got Bogut on the floor, you got these other guys on the floor that can't shoot. Foul them. Take the ball out of his hands. Even if he makes 2, you're saving 1, because it was ridiculous coaching. I thought Billy Donovan did a terrible job in several games, not just that game, in making moves. I think he allowed the players to make decisions, which it shouldn't happen. First year in the pros, he's got a lot to learn if he's going to keep up with a guy like Kerr, or then you start throwing him up against that. Against Lou, that would have been a different kind of a matchup because he's a guy that's kind of fresh as well. But you're going up against, some guys here that can really coach.
Well, I'll tell you that's for sure. And I like what Lou's done with the Cavaliers. Certainly the team's buying into his energy, and they've been a better basketball team since David Blatt left and Tyronn Lue took over. So here we go with this matchup. And the first thing that people talk about, and I can't argue this, is that, last year the Cavaliers lose Love to an injury. Irving gets hurt. And yet they were very competitive against the Warriors. So I do think it's fair to suggest that the Cavaliers are not going to go in this with any fear of Golden State. And that is perhaps the most important factor right out of the gate, is team has to be convinced they can win. And I think Cavaliers, and I don't think they're going to win as far as the series goes, but I do think Cavaliers think they're going to win. And that's really important in terms of sizing up a series.
It should be competitive.
Yep.
They have added a couple pieces. Fry, number 1, who can hit from outside.
He can drag guys out there, too.
Pardon me?
He can drag big guys out there, too.
That's true. They are healthier. Love's there. Irving is there. Somebody's going to have to guard Thompson and Curry, and that's a difficult proposition, especially if they go off on you. Now, underneath, I think Cleveland has a chance underneath. I think the softest guy underneath is Love. And I don't know that he can play at this level of physicality that the Spurs can, or not, the Warriors can play at. So I think that's a problem. Last year when they played against us, LeBron took over those games. And when the Warriors went small, and I don't remember what game they decided to go small. I think it was game 4. And once they went small, they started to take over that series. And now I believe that Cleveland can go small with them because they do have a quicker Love on the floor and Kyrie Irving on the floor. So I think it's going to be a better series than a lot of people think it's going to be. Now, granted, the line is 6. A lot of places are looking at 5.5. So you're looking at 5.5 at 6. It's looking at it today, 210, 210.5 for the total. I think the games are going to be competitive. I'm not saying the Dog's going to cover every game, but let me go back to this. There were 13 games played in the conference finals. Do you know how many times the point spread mattered?
I'm going to say not too many.
None.
How about 0?
Not one cover. If the Dog covered, they won the game. They didn't need the points. So everything was a money line bet. Point spread did not matter. So I don't know if that's going to continue, but that is an unbelievable run.
And I will have a play on game 1, which I'm not going to give out here. Call the service and get the play. I think it's good play. Been doing well in the NBA playoffs. Meanwhile, viewers can get free plays every single day from us, Jim. Or just get right to their cell phone. It's very easy.
Absolutely. You just go to text in GAME, G-A-M-E, to 25827. You'll get free plays every day right to your cell phone. You just pick up your phone. It's right there. It will tell you who to play, and it's absolutely free. Text GAME, 25827.
Meanwhile, football numbers are going up earlier than ever. It's like casinos are in a battle with each other, which is it's good for the players because they're putting up numbers on the NFL, college football. They're going up now. You can bet on this stuff right now at the various books around Nevada. We're going to talk some NFL when we come back.